Is Miles Dixon, and if you're watching this, you could go to space and be some of our first Mars-dwelling humans to save our planet from an impending virus. The first thing I would really like to talk about on our Mars Coalition is habitat design and living spaces. Now, these would include individual quarters. This would be quarters for people who wish to bunk alone, and quarters for families up to 6 people. This would include beds, a kitchen area, a washer and dryer, and office space for people to work. In our common areas where everyone would mix and mingle, there would be schools for your children, gardens to find produce, and there would also be scientific areas to figure out what is happening on the Martian surface at the moment. The next thing I would really like to talk about is our communication centers. It is very vital to have an open dialogue between the people on Mars and the people on Earth. Now, we would do this using NASA's new infrared technology. This would create a 10-minute warp where we would have 10 minutes to figure out information. The next thing I would really like to talk about is our gardens and farms. Now, we all know that the Martian soil is very, very extremely volatile and has a bunch of bad medicals and chemicals. To alleviate this problem, we would want to bring soil from Earth using different types of rockets and bring them to our greenhouses. Our greenhouses would then grow plants and give them the much needed CO2 and energy that they need to grow to create a sustainable farm. The next thing that I would really like to talk about that will take up most of our time here is water. Now, water is not found on the Martian surface. Now, that might be a very weird question to pose, but water is found in the form of ice. Now, using the Rodriguez method, which is boring a hole into the Martian surface and then using a large metal rod, heating that up till it expands, and then putting it into the borehole, would create water reserves in the Martian surface. Now, we would need to airlock this due to the Martian atmosphere being very low density. The next thing I would really like to talk about is energy. I propose using nuclear energy and solar energy. We all know that solar energy is generated by using solar panels. So if we brought solar panels and created some solar panels on Mars, we could have good solar energy. But solar energy has its limits on Mars due to Mars being so far away from the sun. To offset this, I propose using nuclear energy. Nuclear energy can last a very long time with using very minimal resources and only puts out a little bit of toxic waste. The next thing I would really like to talk about is atmosphere generation. Elon Musk suggested terraforming Mars by using mirrors and putting sunlight onto the ice, which heats up the ice, putting CO2 into the air, creating a thicker atmosphere. Then we could drop phytoplankton using satellites into the water created by melting this ice. I thank you all for listening to my proposition for habitat design and living spaces, communication centers, gardens, farms, water, energy facilities, and terraforming the Martian atmosphere. I hope to see you on the big red planet where we are all going to live happily ever after. Bye.